Welcome to the North of Ordinary show, sponsored by Yukon North of Ordinary magazine. I'm your host, Lauren Tuck, and I am very excited to be here on the chairlift at the new Mount Sima Alpine Adventure Park. I'm joined by Paulo Galina. So Paulo, what do you have in store for me today?
What do I have in store for you today? Well, we got some great activities, Lauren. So we have 4 main activities here at the park. We have the panoramic chairlift with an observation deck at the top of the hill with stunning 360-degree views. We have Zoom zip lines, which is a series of zip lines that take us from the top to almost the bottom of the hill. There's 3 lines. Our Insomniac line is about 1 kilometer long, and we'll be going about 100 kilometers an hour. Oh, no big deal. Our Monkito course is a 4-acre high ropes course that has 48 games. There's wobbly bridges and rope swings and zip lines. And in mid-July, we'll be opening our bike park. We're preparing to host a pro downhill event July 14th and 15th. And after that event, we'll be open for biking to the public.
It's all happening here at the Alpine Adventure Park. But coming up first on the show, we went to take in the Kluane Mountain Bluegrass Festival, which attracts world-class bluegrass acts, and we were there to take a look.
Hi, my name's Steve Gedros. I'm the producer of the 2012 Kluane Mountain Bluegrass Festival. We bring in bands that play for normally 100,000 people in other venues. They're top-of-the-line bands across the states. We bring them from Kentucky, we bring them from Tennessee, we bring them from North Carolina, all these hotbeds of bluegrass. If you like instrumental music, if you like acoustic music, these are some of the best you're going to hear in any genre. These guys are fantastic musicians. I'm really keen on Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen. They haven't been here before. They are on a really fast track. They released their album, I think, about 2010, late in the year 2010, self-titled album, and it's going through the roof. They're just playing every kind of festival there is. All I need is you by my side, and together we'll fly.
We put a spin on some of the bluegrass classics. We do some pop covers. You know, our love for bluegrass has come out of this festival. This is the 10th anniversary, and we're entirely a product of this, and so we're really happy to be here and be part of it. It's a bit of an unknown gem here in Whitehorse. That you know, this is a festival that brings in world-class talent. We're really excited to be playing, and we're honored to be invited back this year.
My name is Andrew Snedden.
My name's Donald McLennan. We're both with a group from Halifax, Nova Scotia called the Modern Grass.
Well, we do a mix of a bunch of genres. We have bluegrass instrumentation. It's acoustic guitar, banjo, mandolin, fiddle, dobro, and stand-up bass and harmony singing. Overall, I mean, the caliber, it's, you know, they brought up some of the best bluegrass bands in the world, and it's pretty amazing that they're all in the Yukon, and not many places get to experience, in Canada anyway, to get to experience this kind of caliber of bluegrass music. So, you know, everyone should feel pretty lucky who's going out to the festival. I feel pretty lucky to be performing in it and getting to see these guys.
A lot of these people have heard about the festival from their pals. It's a small community, so these top bands know each other. There's you know, a certain cross-pollination between the bands, and they're all really enthusiastic to come. It's not a chore to get them to come, believe me.
So I mean, the caliber that all these artists are at, these are like the elite of bluegrass players. You know, it's the International Bluegrass Music Association is kind of like the gauge in the States for it. And all these people who are up here have, you know, won it. You know, it's like, that's the equivalent to the Grammys. They're at the top of their game, and so, you know, it's like having the Grand Ole Opry all of a sudden move here for a weekend and you get to see it. It's pretty neat.
Well, we made it off the panoramic chair, and now, where are we, Paulo?
We are on Mount Sima's brand new observation deck. It's 20-foot square, solid timber construction, 3,800 feet above sea level. It was 1,000 vertical rides that we just experienced on the chairlift. We've got some stunning views up here. There's Golden Horn in the background. We can see Mount McIntyre. We can see the city of Whitehorse, the Yukon River Valley with Lake LaBarge in the background, Yukon River headwaters at Marsh Lake. There's some pretty cool views up here.
In the wake of glaciers melting all over the world, there are some amazing archaeological discoveries happening. In June, Whitehorse hosted a conference which was all about that.
This is the 3rd International Glacial Archaeology Conference. We've been working on the project for 15 years jointly with 6 Yukon First Nations. Kwanlin actually made the invitation, come to the Yukon for the next conference because we have something to show you. Basically, this was an opportunity to kind of showcase the research going on here because we have the largest North American collection of preserved organic artifacts coming out of ice patches.
We've now got more than 220 objects spread over 9,000 years of human hunting. It's one of the only collections that has got preserved organic material like this, and it gives us whole new opportunities to look at the past.
The most exciting thing about this collection is that these things literally look like they were lost yesterday. When you're walking up on these ice patches and all of a sudden you stumble upon something that you know is so ancient, but that literally looks like it was dropped yesterday. This is the first exhibit that we've had come through the Kwanlin Cultural Center, and we're quite excited to be hosting it here in conjunction with the conference. On display right now, we've got some throwing darts, atlatls, which is an ancient technology that predates bow and arrow technology. And we have stone points, antler points, and a couple of odds and ends that we're not really sure what it's for. So we'd love to get feedback from people on what those might be.
This is the biggest conference so far of the glacial archaeology conferences. We were shocked how many people wanted to come to the Yukon. The response has been overwhelming, really good.
We have 35 presentations from 11 different countries. There's just so many opportunities for sharing knowledge, and that's what these conferences are all about.
This is in fact, shared history. Everybody is kind of coming from the same roots.
The collection itself opens up June 21st, 2012. This will be in conjunction with the grand opening of the Cultural Center, and we would love for the public to come down and take a look at it.
Well, I'm about to do the zip line. Tell me what else I need to know.
We're at the top of the Insomniac line. It's a kilometer-long line.
Right.
And with no wind today, you're probably going to be hitting speeds of about 9,500 kilometers an hour. We have a full harness here that is very comfortable. We have multiple carabiners that keep you safe. We have a helmet. And you have a number on your hand which indicates your secret weight.
Which is a secret number.
What they'll do is the guides who are going to receive you have set the brakes according to your weight, which will have you come in nice and smooth.
All right, so I'm here at the Insomniac zipline. I'm all strapped in and I'm terrified. Before I go, let's head over to check out the Leaping Feats Creative Dance Works. They hosted their annual show at the Yukon Arts Center this June, featuring 312 dancers. And we were there to take it all in. Here I go. Okay.
My name's Andrea Simpson-Fowler, and I'm the owner of Leaping Feats and the artistic director of Extremely Moving and the artistic director of Breakdancing Yukon Society. Tonight's show is special because it's the first time we've ever done just the youth company. They train very intensively. It's just kind of cool for them to have their own show.
My name is Jada Powell, and I'm in the Elite Feeders Part 1 show tonight and the rest of the following 5 shows after this.
My name is Valerie Hurtis, and same thing, I'm in all 6 shows.
I'm Sarah Leslie, and I'm in EMYS and JPP.
I'm Melissa Buns, and I'm in EMYS and in JPP.
EMYS is Extremely Moving Youth Society, which is the group of dancers that train up to 10 hours weekly. They are like our highest level of dancers in the studio.
Well, you have to remember all the dances. And for us, we're in 8 of the dances, and so sometimes it gets confusing, but usually we're on the ball.
So what's your favorite dance that you're doing tonight?
You Can't Stop the Beat, and it's like a 50s dance, and we get to go really full out and wear hair up, and it's just the funnest dance ever. I love performing.
Tonight also is the first original Yukon ballet. Aubrey Walker's choreographed this based on her experiences and how she sees the Yukon.
The plan was to make a full-length ballet about the 4 seasons, but this year we only did an excerpt, so we're only doing winter.
The star of the ballet is the Black Ice Fairy. Our costume designer is Allison Stops. You'll be able to see that in the show. It's like her handiwork. It's gorgeous, very sparkly.
We have extremely good costumes.
Started dancing once a week when I was in grade 3, and then now we're at the studio almost every day.
We have our biggest group of grads ever. 5 of them have been accepted to post-secondary institutions for dance, and one of them's auditioning next month.
I'm going to go to Vancouver, and I'm going to do a ballet program called Arts Umbrella. It's a 2-year program, and it's 35 to 50 hours of dance training every week. So it's going to be kind of intense, but I'm excited and scared.
Jada's gonna do Soldiers, which is a hip-hop company.
Street style, so hip-hop, people would call it in the industry. Yeah, it would be my favorite.
It's pretty exciting to have that many grads pursuing dance, you know, as they leave. So they're all very serious about it. And it's, of course, a big difference from when I was growing up here. You know, we were taking class once a week. So that's kind of cool, I think. That's what I'm proudest of, I would say.
I did it! My heart is like, all right. Woo!
Good job, Lauren.
I feel awesome. That was so fun. Wow, I highly recommend that to anyone, including people afraid of heights like me.
That was the Aurora line that you came in on.
Okay.
The 3rd of our 3 zip lines, and we have a 4th one, the Bonanza line, will be ready. We're thinking August, and that will take us to the back to the chalet. So that's going to be, that'll complete our zipline tour.
Wow, so I'll have to come back and check that out. Coming up after the break, we're heading over to the Kwanlin Cultural Center, a fantastic new venue which has just recently opened up on the waterfront here in Whitehorse. They opened their doors on June 21st and we were there to take it all in.
Recent grads of the North, Northwestel wants to give you $4,000 towards your education through the Northern Future Scholarship Program. And that's not all. Jobs for your summer's off are made available, as well as a chance at a full-time career after you graduate. The deadline to apply for the 2012-2013 academic year is July 31st. So visit our website for applications and eligibility details. Go to nwtel.ca. Northwestel strives to award half of the available scholarships to Aboriginal students. 6 scholarships are available annually. Go online to apply for your money.
We welcome you to celebrate Kwanlin Dun's return to the Yukon River.
Sean Smith, Kuni Che, Guch Ayakhat Yati, Kwanlin Kwachaniche, where the river runs through a narrow place, and that is where we're from.
We're at the Kwanlin Cultural Center. I'm Lauren Tuck and I'm joined by Meredith Kenzie. She's the Marketing and Events Manager. Tell me a little bit about how the Cultural Center came to be.
Sure. Well, it actually goes back quite a few years when the land claim agreements were being worked out with KDFN and the government here. And they were able to negotiate a settlement that included a piece of land on the waterfront.
The Yukon River represents a deep, deep history for us. And it's such a momentous occasion for us to be all here together.
This is the main entrance to the building. It's a neat architectural element the architects brought in where you can actually walk all the way from the end of Black Street down through the revolving doors and into the Longhouse and out to the fire pit and the river. So there's this neat continuous corridor connecting it to downtown. One of the most visually iconic elements of the center is the moon face by Mark Preston. It's the image that you'll see as you approach the cultural center. We have our Elders Lounge to your right with our wood-burning fire stoves so they can come and have a place for storytelling, a place to gather. This is our signature room. It's our biggest room for any kind of reception or gala. It's called the Longhouse because the architecture is modeled on the idea of the Longhouse. You'll see some of the architectural elements that reflect that with the vaulted ceiling and all of the wood. It's all cedar that's been brought in.
We really cherish our heritage and really share and teach and educate others about our culture. And it's all about building bridges between us and other people.
Part of this hallway is that there's actually an exhibit component or an interactive component to it as well, right?
Yes, there is. It's called our interpretive corridor, and there are a range of exhibits in the display cases. There's interpretive panels. We also have iPads that you can interact with, so there's movies and photos and stories. You can do your own exploring and learning. We're here at the Artist Studio. This is a space where we'll be developing partnerships with local artists and craftspeople to bring in programming. We're not just a museum and a place for artifacts, but the living culture is actually being developed.
We've now found ourselves in the sacred space.
That's correct. It's not open to the public. It's a place where First Nations groups can come and really with a focus on healing or traditional activities and ceremonies. It's the sacred fire pit that was built for the community to use for ceremonies and any traditional activities, but it's also a lovely gathering place for anyone who wants to come down.
In the tradition of our ancestors, Kwanlin will continue to host Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people alike, and through the Kwanlin Cultural Center, it represents a holding of our history and a making of new memories, and we welcome you all to enjoy in this day and to celebrate what our future holds, which is bright and rich.
Well, I am gripped and clipped, and I'm here with Paulo at Monkito. What is Monkito, Paulo?
Well, we're on the demo course right now, and we're going to head into our 4-acre Monkito aerial adventure course. We're going to experience everything from wobbly bridges to rope ladders to zip lines. We're going to start off on the green course and make our way to the black course, which is going to take us about 60 feet in the air.
All right, Paulo, 60 feet in the air. I know I can do it because I just did the zip line. So I have no fear. I'm ready to do it. And for you, ever wonder about those purple bikes you see around Whitehorse? Well, we did, and we went to the source of the purple bikes and found something that was definitely north of ordinary. Grip and clip.
Grip and clip.
Grip and clip.
The Purple Bike program, it's not really, I don't call it a program, it's more of a project. It doesn't get any subsidies, it's one of my private things. Yeah, take these old bikes, I used to own a bicycle shop and be in the bike repair business, so everybody knew me as such. They'd give me these old bicycles because they'd be leaving town or whatever, they just wouldn't use them, kids grew up. And I'd paint them purple and lease them to people that need them for the summer. So the deal is you give a $150 deposit on the bike, you get the bike, it's all refurbished, it's tuned up. And when you bring the bike back at the end of the season, then you'll get back $75. So once you've had it some like 50 days or so, then it's free. If you want a purple bike, what you do is get yourself a padlock. The bikes don't come with locks. Find yourself a helmet because it's mandatory in Whitehorse. I don't supply helmets. And then go down to Raven Recycling and bring $150 cash and they'll supply you with a bicycle. And then when you're done with the bicycle, bring it back and they'll give you the difference in your deposit. The longer you have it, the better the deal is. So the bikes are covered for breakdowns, for maintenance, for basic things. They all get a good tune-up. They should be quite reliable. If they're broken through abuse and of course flat tires on mishaps aren't covered, you know, I like to get them back in any shape. A lot of the people that come up to work here this summer, they end up at the campground. They're 2 kilometers from work. So it's kind of tough. You got to get up in the morning, walk a half hour or an hour to get to work. I call them Franken bikes because yeah, they're conglomerations of lots of different bikes. So I have a pretty good-sized boneyard. Not all of them obviously make it into purple bikes, so they're too broken or whatnot. So I've given 60 bikes to Raven Recycling, where people will go and rent them from. I went to Raven because they had more space, and the bike shop's busy being a bike shop. My target's to get at least 100 bikes working in Whitehorse per summer, if not more. I get a lot of publicity just by doing it because it's kind of cool. I ended up in the Lonely Planet. I was like, oh, I'm in the Lonely Planet. To keep it going, I do depend on new old bikes, so to speak, more stock. So please, if people are looking to get rid of a bike, don't take it to the dump. Yeah, give me a shout. I'm at 393-2382. You can drop it off down home of the Dome in Riverdale. So I am looking for help for the Purple Bike Project. I mean, I do turn a small profit on it, but it also shows you can have a green project without going out there and getting subsidies or whatnot. You can just go out and do it if you have, a good idea and put some effort into it.
Okay, Paulo, so I somehow survived the swinging logs, is that right?
You totally survived the swinging logs and
yes.
You're doing awesome. High five. So we passed the swinging log.
Yeah.
We did like the scrambling cargo net. We're gonna go on the surfer log here. Then we got a couple of zip lines. We're about 25 feet in the air. For people who are more adventuresome, they're gonna go up to about 50, 60 feet in the air. Shall we?
We shall, but before we do that, you say tomato and I say tomato. And Arlen McFarlane found out the secret to growing tomatoes on this installment of The Curious Gardener. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Arlen McFarlane and I'm on a quest to meet other skilled gardeners and learn their secrets. And today, my guest is Luigi Zanazzi, tomato expert.
Of course, I grew up being Italian and my mother being a gardener and having to grow tomatoes ever since I was a kid. And we've built this greenhouse and a solarium upstairs. We need to can our tomatoes every year so that we have something to eat with our pasta.
Well, let's start with the soil.
We're in the Yukon, so we have to make our soil because we hardly have any topsoil. So we had peat moss to it and we had compost. You might have noticed
Oh yes, yes.
this red stuff
Yes.
on the bench. It's called super mulch. It's just red plastic, which we get from Lee Valley Tools. Well, what happens is plants are green because they don't absorb the green light and just spit it out. But the plants absorb the red and blue light, and this is what makes them grow. Determinate grow in a certain way. I mean, the best way to think of them is a bush tomato, while the indeterminate will go everywhere and will branch out like crazy all over the place. So what you have to do with the indeterminate tomato is to remove these suckers. So in between the main stem and the branch that's got leaves on it only, we end up with these things that if we let them go, they'll turn into another tomato plant.
Why wouldn't I want that to happen?
Because then you won't get as many tomatoes. So you want the plant, after a certain point, to put all its energy into making the tomatoes. So what we do is we just take it out, tear it off. There's a good sucker.
There's a good sucker. How do the tomatoes in the greenhouse get fertilized?
You could give the plant a little shake and they self-fertilize, or you could give your flowers a little whack, you know, and that is enough to fertilize it. The other thing that's very important also is to have air circulation so that you don't get mold developing or other things. In this greenhouse, we have two things. If you look up here, these are automatic vent openers. You want 1/3 of your glass area to be openable. I've got fans at the end. As soon as the temperature is hot enough, the fans go on. The other thing we do is you want in a greenhouse is what we call thermal mass. You want something to suck up the heat when it's hot and give it off when it gets cooler. So what we have is under the beds here, we have a whole series of milk jugs full of water. So when that hot air gets blown in there, it heats up the water and then gives up that heat at night when it's cooler. So it helps stabilize the temperature quite a bit. It's very important to water tomatoes consistently. So there's tomato wilt, and the other thing that could happen with inconsistent watering is what they call blossom end rot, which is rot at the bottom of the tomato. And that means two things: inconstant watering and lack of calcium. To put calcium into your soil is easy, bone meal. Now upstairs we have tomatoes in pots. We call this room our galleria. It's our living room during the summer.
Well, look at how many tomatoes are on this one.
But we don't want the tomatoes to be hidden by a leaf, so that will make them ripen more quickly. This is a black cherry vine.
Okay, so
This
here
is
I
a cherry
go.
tomato.
Wow. Doesn't taste like any tomato in the store, let me tell you. Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you, Luigi, for sharing everything that we need to know about growing tomatoes in the Yukon. I'm Arlen McFarlane, and I'm your curious gardener.
All right, Paulo, I need to be honest with you. That was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, and I almost lost it over there.
You did really well, Lauren.
So what level did we just do?
We're finishing the blue course.
So there's blue, and then above that there's red, and there's black.
And then there's black. Well, high five, Lauren. You did really well.
Thank you so much. Well, we're getting all sporty here, and on that note, let's head over and check out a little segment we like to call Sports Beat.
Brock McLean, Pat Jablonski, Cable 9 Sportsnet at the Pepsi Softball Center.
What a place to be, or the WCC Fields as I like to call it, because we got the Whitehorse Correctional Center right over my shoulder. But tonight it's all about the kids, the U12 superstars.
One of the keys to success, Pat, in the attention deficit generation is just paying attention long enough so you don't get a ball off the forehead.
If you're sliding into second, you better have the iPod out of the pocket, or it's going to be a eye broke.
Who's playing tonight?
Mathis from Burgers.
Yeah.
And Emco.
Oh, yeah. Georgia, are you playing because you want to or because your parents signed you up?
Because I want to.
Now, are you playing softball because you want to, because your parents signed you up and they're making you play?
I want to.
If you want to tell us that you're only playing because your parents make you play, you can tell us.
I'm playing for my enjoyment.
Georgia, when I was your age, my parents made me go into figure skating. I grew to love the sport, but at the time I did not enjoy it.
It's not so easy to hit the pitches when they're bouncing.
I know. And they haven't been taking enough cricket lessons.
You guys know where I can get some chewing tobacco? Chewing tobacco? You guys, how old are you guys? 12. 12? You're not chewing tobacco yet?
Good eyes right there. Yeah.
Who's on first?
First is Connor.
What's on second?
There's a person on second.
I don't know who's on third.
Matt.
Is this reference over your head? You get to make the choices here?
Well, my dad's actually the coach.
Oh, your dad's the coach, so you're one of those, you're kind of one of those play wherever you want to. My dad's the coach.
Yeah.
Because your dad's the coach, do you think you can do whatever you want here?
Yes.
When do you decide to throw a coach out of the game? Did they ever give you any lip?
No.
Do you ever just go, you're out of here! You! Cousin! You're out!
Look at them, right on the field like that.
1, 2, 3, and go!
1, 2, 3, oil burger! Woo!
Could you tell us the keys to success and how you guys won the game tonight?
It was a success because we worked together as a team. And we never won. It's like that 8th game that we lost. We lost. But we keep trying. That's the point. 4 big rules!
Well, Pat, the inmates at Whitehorse Correctional retreated to another stellar U12 baseball game here at the Pepsi Softball Center.
The action was fast and furious. There were losers, there were winners. The big winners, though, definitely the inmates.
Yeah.
How about a wave? Sports Beat with Jablonski and McCall.
Well, that was a crazy day here at the Alpine Adventure Park. Thank you so much, Paulo. I can't believe I made it through the Monkito course and the zip line and the panoramic chair. So thank you for supporting me in all of that, Paulo.
You're welcome, Lauren. It was great having you.
How do people find out more?
People can visit our website at mountsema.com. There we've got hours of operation and everything they need to know to have a good adventure here.
And the course is super tight and super safe and really well done. I was really impressed. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Lauren, high five.
All right, and thank you for tuning in to the North of Ordinary show. I'm your host, Lauren Tuck. If you have any stories that you want to share with us or any ideas or questions about the show, please do get in touch. Until next time on North of Ordinary.